Hi, I'm Ivan Zoot and welcome to another educational video from Jatai Academy. Today we've got Brian and we're going to be creating a classic taper moving up into a ridgeline or a Fauxhawk type style or design. We'll use some clipper over comb technique to taper in the perimeter, then we're going to switch to our feather switchblade shears to sculpt in as we move up to the upper ridgeline length. We're going to go in, we're going to detail and clean the perimeter using our Artist Club razor and our Jatai shave and skincare products for men, and we'll talk a little bit about, rather than a full face shave, leaving a goatee and a mustache, how we go about defining the edges and lines to create a shape that he can grow into with style. Blade Glide Plus lays down a beautiful foundation for haircutting. It smooths and detangles, it's a lightweight leave-in conditioner, it equalizes hair porosity, it adds moisture. It's just a great product to use during the cutting process to help us smooth and taper in. We can hydrate with water, but Blade Glide Plus is even better. Beginning at the front corner, we're going to taper clipper over comb. We want to taper up and build length up to the transition point, and from the transition point up, we'll then begin to create our ridge line. Set her back and we'll continue our way out to the opposite side. Notice we cut sections, we overlap them. It's classic hair cutting, whether you're using your feather razor, whether you're using your switchblade shears, or whether you've chosen to pick up a clipper. It's create a guide, follow the guide, don't cut and don't lose the guide. That's what classic hair cutting has always been about. We'll move our way up, and I'm going to round up into the crown a little bit. He's got some cowlick strength there. We're going to hopefully let that cowlick work for us as opposed to work against us as we come up into the top. And again, unlike a classic taper where we would hold back when we got to the round of the head, we're going to go past the curve of the head just a little bit to establish the shortest length heading up into our center ridge line. Normally we'd stop right there, but we're going to continue up just a bit further. Notice when I freehand in with the clipper, I get my fingertip in behind it like that, for balance, stability, and control. Through the bottom edge, we want to create a subtle taper. In this case, a 3.5 blade allows us to beautifully and subtly taper in that bottom edge. There'll be some trimmer and detail work, and then there'll be our razor work, our Artist Club razor or our nape and body razor to detail in the perimeter beautifully on this haircut. Now notice overcomb technique with a much larger, thicker blade is a fabulous way to create soft transitions. You know, razor cutting and point cutting with scissors, some of the things that we'll do in other aspects of this haircut are all about texture and softness. And it's important to be able to know how to ask your tools to yield the texture or the finishes that you're after. And overcomb with a thicker blade is a wonderful way to soften off transitions in a haircut. I switch to a trimmer and a finishing comb. We're going to be shaving and cleaning a portion of his face, so I'm going to establish a sideburn using my T-blade trimmer, arcing around the ear area so you get a nice clean line that'll all be reinforced with our razor work in just a few moments. At the rear quarter panel, the area from the back of the ear to the bottom corner, in this area we want to cut to but not into the natural hairline. We want to cut up to but not into the natural hairline. So we lift the hair to check and see where the hairline starts and stops, and we come in and we tap, and we tap, and we tap, and we tap to establish that line, cleaning up any extraneous hair beyond it before we come in and really finish things off beautifully with our razor. When that side looks good, we're going to repeat on the opposite side. We use our mirror as a powerful cutting tool by referencing one side in the mirror before we establish the opposite side. And again, behind the ear folds down out of the way, and I come up and over it. And on the opposite side, the rule was cut up to but do not intrude into the natural hairline. Notice I had my hand underneath the tool for balance, stability, control, and support, and we get a beautiful line in behind the ear. At the nape line, I do not want to block the neckline on the haircut. I want to create the best natural taper I can. Notice I hold my comb at an angle and I come in diagonally to gently taper in the natural neckline. Extraneous hair that extends beyond the natural neckline will be taken down with the trimmer and then taken away with our razor work in just a few moments. I like to do this lining and edging at the midpoint of the haircut. It's a technique, it's an efficiency and productivity technique called lining early. Rather than saving my trimmer work for the very end of the haircut, a haircut will never look finished until it's lined and edged and razored. But it'll look doner sooner, if I can make up a word, by coming in and doing that lining and edging. It'll let me really see and appreciate where there's work to be done and what aspects of the haircut are finished. Notice how nicely his hair that was waving up so much on us before, as it had some more length, how it lays in beautifully now once that length is taken down just a little bit.